Today is July 11th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. Brought to you by Royal Banks, Missouri and Munganess St. Louis Acura. I am Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey and Rammer tonight at Busch Stadium. Two of the finest mustaches in all of baseball will be going head-to-head against each other as Miles Michaelis faces Paul Skenes in the Cardinals-Pirates Game 1 of 3.
That is, you've stumped me. I have no response.
I mean, Nestor Cortez up there as far as good mustaches go in baseball. When you think about it, I think Brendan Ryan comes to mind with his that he sported back in the early 2000s. Rammer, I know during your time growing up watching baseball, there were a lot of great mustaches back in the day too.
The best ever, of course, was Al Raboski.
Is that, I mean, when it goes all the way, I mean, is that still, I mean, handlebar mustache, and you're going to go him over Keith Hernandez, huh?
Never even really thought. No, there's no comparison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raleigh fingers.
The Fu Manchu, was perfect for him with the really nasty, mean look. No, I think Hungo is the top of the list.
The Cardinals will get to face Paul Skenes tonight, making another start in his rookie campaign. And I don't know what ticket sales look like, but I will suggest that if you can, get out there and watch him pitch. Just turned 22 years old a couple of weeks ago. And he is as good as advertised so far in his young career. This will be start number...
Is it 4?
As I grab the... No, this is start number 6 for Paul Skenes. Yeah. Only the second time he started it. Yeah, only the second time that he's starting at night, by the way. Somehow all of his starts kind of managed to be their afternoon games for the first 4. His last start just happened to be a night game, but this is start number 6 for him this year. He is in those previous 5 starts, 27 innings pitched, and has already amassed 38 strikeouts in those innings. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. All eyes on the pitcher for the Pirates tonight. A good team, or I should say a young team that has a lot of good young players on it that have not reached their full potential so far this season.
There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes. No lineups posted yet for the game tonight, but 31 and 34, Cardinals 31 and 33. Both these teams very much in the wild card hunt, and both of these teams could very well will benefit from winning the series.
The division is really interesting, and there's so much mediocrity in the game right now. The season obviously is far from over, and a number of things can change. But when you look at this division, the 2 West divisions, not so much the American League Central and not so much the American League East, but most of the divisions have one good team at the top and everybody else kind of putzing around trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah, the Pirates led by Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, O'Neill Cruz. I posed this question yesterday to Claibs right now, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Rammer. You look at this Pirates team, a lot of good young players. Brian Hayes, O'Neill Cruz up there, Paul Skenes, top of the rotation. Jared Jones, also another young pitcher they have in their rotation. Andrew McCutchen, we're not in the Pirates locker room, but I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that Andrew McCutchen is the clubhouse leader there with that team, a future Pirates Hall of Famer and the face of that franchise was for so many years and then came back to finish his career there. I wonder what these young players will be like when he leaves, because we saw last year when the Cardinals lost the voice of their locker room in Yadi and Albert, we saw that things didn't go that well last year for them. So a team that's on the cusp of becoming a playoff team. What happens when you immediately lose that veteran presence in the clubhouse, that veteran leadership?
It's an impossible question to answer. And how much of it is a direct correlation and how much of it is complete coincidence? There's really no way to prove it. You would prefer to have veterans, one or two or three that have been around, that have won, that know how to win, that know how to discipline themselves with time management and workload and work ethic. You'd love to have all that. But in the end, you got to have players performing. And you can be the smartest, greatest guy, but if you're not performing, it's hard to say how much effect you have as a so-called leader. But yeah, I think that if, like I say, veterans who have won and still know how and still can perform enough to make a contribution, that's the ideal situation.
Cardinals need a lot of guys to start performing if they're going to make a playoff run and go on another win streak like they did in the middle of May. Top of that list is the two guys in the middle, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. Those are two guys that we have seen go on tears in the middle of summers plenty of times during their careers, previous to the Cardinals and with the Cardinals. Now would be a really, really great time for those two to step up and just go on a tear together. And I can't recall a time that we've seen the two of them just absolutely dominate the middle of the lineup. And the Cardinals very much need that here over the next 3 to 4 weeks before they get Wilson Contreras back in the lineup in whatever capacity he's able to help perform.
So what's a reasonable ask? I think the reasonable ask is how big of a push you can make to get back to your just average numbers. I don't think you need to end the season with all-star numbers, but can you end up being an average you, meaning Goldie and Arenado? And if you can get even close to that, it means June, July, August, and September will be monster months. That's how far behind their career numbers they are.
Yeah.
If you can even get close, that will bode very well for the ball club.
Not even asking much. If they both hit just 350, then maybe the remainder of the month. You ask for something like, and that's what I'm talking about, being on a tear over the next 3 weeks, a number like that. You're talking about a team that could go easily from 3 games under 500 to 3 games over 500 by the time we reach July with the schedule that they have coming up.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
to get to it's not just batting average, but of course that's a big one. You got to get hits. But when you look at their overall average production, at the 100 RBI, 110 RBI, it's almost impossible to imagine to think they could get there. But could they make a push to get to those career averages? Then that gives you an opportunity, gives you a chance. And I think that's what you got to hope for.
Haven't seen the lineups come out just yet, but we saw a lot in that Rockies series of Mason Wynn leading off for the Cardinals. It seems like they have decided that he's going to be the one that they're going to go with now, outside of maybe just a matchup where Brendan Donovan has dominated a pitcher in his career. I think Mason Wynn's your leadoff guy now until he loses it now at this point in the season.
You know how I've felt about that for the last 2 months. I wonder if tonight is the night, having the experience of Brendan Donovan at the top against this tough kid pitcher, would that be something that, well, I know they consider all kinds of options. Would that be the time to maybe give Mason Wynn a break? I don't know if I would do it, but that would be the one caveat to your position. Boy, this might not be the great matchup for him, but it doesn't seem like Mason Wynn cares who's throwing.
Well, Rammer, just before, because as our listeners here at Daily Cards know, we do so much research every single day before we put this show on. Paul Skenes against lefties. Lefties are hitting 184 against him early on in his career. Righties are hitting 240 against him in early on in his career.
Why do we think that is?
Split.
What about his stuff promotes that number? We don't know. So
I don't think you know yet. I don't know if he's faced enough big league pitching for us to be able to tell that yet.
well, I'm talking about Skenes too.
Yeah.
What
Or
has
I'm
he?
sorry, big league hitting. Big league hitting
Yeah,
is what I meant to say. I was talking
yeah.
about Skenes. Yeah.
And so, and I'd have to go back and look who are the lefties he's faced that have hit him. It would take a little more analysis of the raw numbers, but those numbers support what you and I like, and that's win leading off.
Yeah, he's given 3 home runs up to righties. I don't know who those righties are, Rammer. He has only given up 1 home run to a lefty this year. That was a gentleman by the name of Shohei Ohtani that he struck out in his first at bat, and second at bat, Shohei hit a ball about 450 feet dead center against him. And as we were talking about yesterday, if you go and find the picture of the home run that he gave up against Shohei, Paul Skenes has the biggest smile on his face after giving up that shot. He got him the first.
It's cool being in the big leagues.
He's like, okay, I got you. Now you got me. One of those kind of smiles that you saw in his face. Not the first time, or not the last time that those two are going to face off against each other. Rammer, it's the first of 3 at Busch Stadium tonight. 6:45 start time tonight and tomorrow before an afternoon game on Thursday for Pirates, and I think it might be an afternoon game, but the first of 3 before the Cardinals head up to Chicago for the weekend, face the Cubs. It's Father's Day weekend. Yeah, 1:15 start time on Thursday. We are brought to you each and every day, Rammer, by Munganast St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks in Missouri, where better service means better banking. I've been working on a refi for my mortgage, and the Royal Banks folks have been unbelievable in getting it done. Right before we came on, I got an email from my mortgage banker at Royal Banks setting up the closing date. It's just boom, boom, boom. Here's where we are. Here's where we're going to get it done. And that's when you're in that kind of a deal with so much paperwork and so much to do, you want it to be clean, crisp, and easy. And that's what Royal Banks does for you. Royal Banks, for better service means better banking.
It's Paul Skenes Day down at Busch Stadium. See if the Cardinals can hand him his first big league loss in his young career. Currently 3-0 as a major league player with the Pirates. No word yet if Livy Dunn will be in attendance at Busch Stadium. We'll check in on that and report back to you tomorrow on that one. Until then, he is Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been Daily Cards Live right here on Claibs Online.
Rep your squad like it's only one squad. Rep your squad like it's only one squad. Rep your squad like it's only one squad. Like it's only one squad. It's only one squad.
We go, beast mode, get dough, ain't no cheat code. Big dog, cheat code, free smoke. Game time, we score. We